that has to be the most fitting way for Manchester United to close out 2023. After going 2-0 down against Aston Villa at home and winning 3-2, you think, you know what? There's an opportunity there to build a little bit of momentum. There's an opportunity there to take something forward. Never mind. Another 1 step forward, another 2 steps back. Just like it was after Brentford, just like it was after Chelsea, and just like it has been all season long. 14 games we've lost this season now already. I think that's the worst since 1930. Erik ten Hag, I hope to God that after this game, before this match reaction maybe is even out, you've explained that Mainoo went off with an injury, because that substitution to take off Mainoo for McTominay has left me scratching my head. Has really left me scratching my head. Scott McTominay, you know, well, jeez, I mean, I'm not going to try and explain it anymore. And really, if you can't see it now, there's just no point. Manchester United, 2 problems we've had this season when it comes to conceding goals. Number 1, cutbacks. Exhibit 434 from this season. Manchester United, overexposed. McTominay not marking his runner there because he's tracking defenders. He's not just making the smart run. And all of a sudden, acres of space on the edge of the box. Lovely. Goal for Nottingham Forest. Then we get a goal back. I'll speak about that. But then what happens? Man United overcommit. And Man United get hit on the counter-attack. But lo and behold, another one there. Ooh, look at that. Acres of space on the edge of the box because McTominay has decided to follow Varane and go outside and track his runner there and leave the man on the edge of the box. Twice in the same game. How many times has this happened this season? I do not know. That genuine little bit of quality there from Garnacho. The anticipation to win the ball back. The cutback for Marcus Rashford. A decent enough finish after he was garbage the whole game. But Erik ten Hag, why on earth are you are you bringing on McTominay for Mainoo there? McTominay, and mate, I can't be bothered. I really, really just don't want to explain it anymore. I really don't. But Erik ten Hag has almost all season long been looking towards McTominay now for not only sort of attacking solutions to games, but for defensive solutions to games, and none of which he's really the answer for. I'm shocked. I'm not shocked that United have done it again and build up a little bit of momentum in a game and then lose it all again. And I'm not shocked that Man United have gone and taken a positive performance like Aston Villa, and then a few days later, the same players, 10 of the 11 that played there, played against Villa. And they go and play like that. I mean, what? What are you supposed to do as a fan? It's Jekyll and Hyde. And it's just exhausting. It really fucking is, man. And you can talk to me about changing the team. Højlund going out with an illness. And that's just like, oh yeah, well done, Erik, brilliant. So just as we get a little bit of attacking momentum, let's just change Højlund out. Let's move Garnacho off the right-hand side where he scored 2. Push him to the left. Push Rashford through the middle where he can't play. And bring on Antony. It's no wonder. And Antony in that game... Antony I defended so much last season. Because I think to write off an individual, to write off a Manchester United player in their first season at the club, I think is just... I personally think it's unreasonable. Ooh, that my mindset has completely changed. Not completely changed, but I have gathered enough evidence as a United fan watching Antony to know that he simply isn't good enough to be a Manchester United winger. And that we should be seeing far more of... By the way, we spent 40 million on Ahmed. Let's not forget that. Antony just can't take his man on. It's kind of bad to watch. It's just, you know what he's going to do. You know he's just going to spend 10 seconds trying to get past the man before turning around and passing it to someone else. And the defence knows it as well. At least have a little bit more directness in Ahmed. When it comes to a Manchester United winger, there is a lot that fans will forgive, right? Take Nani, for example. A player who created so much frustration, but you knew the quality was there. And you knew that when he pulled it off, game-changing moment. The last time Antony scored for Manchester United was at Nottingham Forest last season when he scored and got an assist. Dalot has scored more recently than Antony. Nearly scored again there today. But I'm just... I'm properly shocked by that sub from Erik ten Hag. As I said, I really hope that it comes out that Mainoo was injured, right? And if Mainoo was injured, I'm putting in my mindset, I'm saying, right, so is McTominay still the answer there? And the answer would still be absolutely categorically no. McTominay is not a single pivot midfielder. The tactical awareness and intelligence you need to play a role like that to cover so much ground, to know when to run into space and when to step back to cover space. It's not an easy job. And it's not something that Scott McTominay has the natural ability to do. He is a box crasher. He is somebody who arrives on the edge of the box and gets his goals. But even those have dried up. But never has Scott McTominay been a single number 6 midfielder. So even if Mainoo was injured, and even if that was a tactical substitution from Erik ten Hag, the tactics were categorically wrong. And then I think in the last 5 minutes of the game, it almost switched and we were playing Bruno and Eriksen deeper to allow Scott McTominay to be on the edge of the box. It's exhausting. There's no other word I can use to describe it anymore. Like, the anger's sort of dissipated. It's like going through the 5 stages of bloody grief. I'm way past the 5 stages when it comes to watching Manchester United. I want to see a bit more of Ahmad Bruno. Like, it's that like those goals again. Like, the cutback to the edge of the box all season long has plagued us. Manchester United overcommit. I think Bruno Fernandes, Eriksen had the shot, bounced out, and then Bruno Fernandes dummied over the ball and then was on the 6-yard line when they were counter-attacking. It's because they're being told to by their manager. And all of a sudden, you've got McTominay, who's then trying to cover all that space on his own. And as I said, even a top-level, like elite midfielder would struggle to cover the amount of space there. And he's just not... doesn't have the spatial awareness that's required to cover all that space on your own, to know when to run forward and to know when to cut. But the only person who can make that decision is you in real time. And it's not easy, right? So I think in that sense, I'm kind of giving a little bit of sympathy towards Scott McTominay for trying to do what the manager is asking him to do. But Erik, stop asking, that's Rashford, stop asking him to do it. McTominay should never play there on his own. So even if Mainoo was injured, that sub is an abomination. Who else would I bring on? Was Dan Gore on the bench? I think he might have been. Was Hannibal on the bench? He might have been. Would either of those two be a number 6 on their own? No, we're starved, really. That game there, look, we went into it off the back of some genuine momentum that fell in that second half against Villa. Look at compare the way we played against Villa in that second half to the way we played there. Forest were good for the win, but man, they didn't need to have much quality, did they? They did not need to have much quality. But to go from that Højlund goal, Garnacho getting 2, to Højlund being out, to Garnacho being forced to play on the left, to Marcus Rashford playing through the middle. And look, I know I've pulled it up there a few times now. Rashford got the goal there, but Rashford playing through the middle is exasperating to watch. It's painful. I mean, watching Man United is painful, but watching Rashford play in that position is particularly painful. And just watching United just, here we go again. Like, what's the point? I don't know. 2 weeks' time we go and beat Spurs at Old Trafford. Well, we're back. Nah, we're not. No one's shouting that we're back. It's the peaks and the troughs of watching United. The extremes are extreme. And it's not a shock. It's not a surprise, and I think that's probably the worst thing about it. All right? I was hoping optimistically for a 3-1 win today. I was hoping optimistically that this United team would actually take some momentum into another game. Yet here we go again. Even in a game where we got back into it because of that mistake by Forest and because of that great work by Garnacho, and then we conceded straight after that because we overcommitted going forward and we concede our 400th cutback of the season and our 401st cutback of the season off the end of an overcommitted counter-attack. Same shit, different toilet. That's Man United in 2023.